Welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video. I will try to make the case for yoga in rehabilitation. And why stop there? Why not say yoga as the central discipline in rehab? I'll talk a bit about myself, my own experiences, and I'll talk about yoga in general and explain why I believe yoga will be, and in any case should be, the central discipline in rehab. First, a little bit about myself. My name is Peter van Ken. I am almost 67 now. In '79 I had an accident that landed me in a wheelchair with a lesion at T10, about navel height. The first few years of my life in a wheelchair were difficult. I had the usual paraplegic problems, bladder infections, problem with the skin. I was generally unhappy. I don't want to suggest that's a common thing, but it happens. I had a line in my body over my skin here, a virtual line. It wasn't really there, but in my mind it was there. And below that line was an uninteresting part of my body, and above that line I lived. All that changed when I started doing yoga. It's been 44 years now since my accident, and I'm living happily and healthily. I live here in a village in the center of Holland with my wife. We have a yoga and meditation center. I teach in the Hoogstraat, a rehab center not so far from here in Utrecht. And I am positive that I owe my healthy life to yoga. Not just my healthy life, but my healthy, happy, free life. Any question? Yoga is a very old science and art. It's at least 3,000 years old, so it's safe to say that there's a lot of experience behind yoga that is practiced today. As we know, in the last century basically, yoga has come to the West, to America, to England, and it's now spread all over the world. Yoga is not a vague Eastern mystical hobby of some weirdos. Yoga is a universal science. It's based on experience, and there has been a lot of research done into the benefits of yoga and also of meditation, which is linked to yoga. You could say the practice of yoga gradually leads to meditation, mindfulness, because the essence of yoga is being aware in this moment. So if you're somebody who wants to read scientific research, there's plenty around. So you just Google it and you'll find it. In this video I don't want to go into that because I don't want to make it into a scientific thing, and I hope my experience, my personal experience and my experience as a teacher is convincing enough. The central notion here is body awareness. Before I practiced yoga, I had limited body awareness. Of course, it is still limited. I mean, one can always grow. But it's a night and day difference between before and after I came in contact with yoga. Limited awareness in my case meant I was unaware of what was going on below the navel, only somewhat aware of what was going on above that, and very aware of what was going on in my mind. Nothing wrong with the mind, but it's a limited life experience. When I started doing yoga, I started to become aware that I, in fact, was able to be in touch with the lower part of my body in several ways. First, just because the legs are there and they influence how the rest of the body feels and its position and everything. My body became a whole, and so before yoga I was only vaguely aware of what my legs were doing and the position they were in and how they were supporting or not supporting my position. And after I started yoga, I became more aware of where my legs were and how they felt and how they helped my position or not helped it. I learned to breathe properly. Why would one want to breathe properly? Well, maybe because it gives you more energy, because it gives you a tool to relax at will. Maybe because it helps your digestion, maybe when you're in a wheelchair because it helps your balance, maybe because when you have a spinal cord injury and you can't feel below the navel or below here, the diaphragm helps you to be in touch with everything beneath your lesion. Even though you can't actually feel it in the normal sense, when the diaphragm moves, the resistance in the body, and in some, I can't explain, but in some subtle way, you become aware of what's going on there and how your abdomen feels. Also important in connection with digestion and going to the bathroom or not going to the bathroom. Let's look at how yoga can be of great benefit in everyday life. This is a twist, classical yoga pose. This is the way to do it when you lack muscles in the abdomen. It helps you to free the spine, free the shoulders and neck, and you need that when, for instance, you want to lift your chair into the car. You need to be able to twist sitting upright and to know what muscles to use and what muscles not to use, and have the flexibility and the strength to do what you need to do. Yes, bye-bye. In everyday life, you don't want to sit all the time in your wheelchair. If possible, you want to sit on the couch or on a Chesterfield chair or on the floor. Again, you need to be flexible, and you need to know what your body can do and what it cannot do. Transfers, very important when you're living in a wheelchair. Difficult, you need to, so much strength, and I'm so heavy, can't be done. Unless you learn to make the transfer in a yogic way. It's not as simple as it looks. You need to train. Until effective moving becomes second nature, and you move like that all the time. What does it mean to move effectively? It means to know what muscles to use and which muscles you don't need, and you leave them relaxed. You have to know what the movement is. You need to apply your strength, your power, in the exhalation. Most people, when they want to do something difficult, either inhale or they hold their breath, and that's not an effective way of moving. You need to apply your strength, your power, use your muscles in the exhalation. That makes your body lighter. And what you can do is inhale and exhale a couple of times to sort of gather your energy, and then you do it. And last but not least, when you make your transfer, you have to be, first of all, convinced that you can do it. And secondly, you convince yourself that it's light, it's easy. I can do it, it's light, it's easy. And there you go. The breath, being able to breathe properly and being aware of the breath, gradually became being aware of energy. After I had my accident and I was in hospital, the doctor explained to me about the nerves and the spine and everything, and that's why I was not able to feel anything in my legs anymore. When I asked him, okay, but how come when I hear beautiful music, I can sense that my legs are sort of cramping, so they're reacting to what is happening in my mind, so there must be some kind of connection. But he dismissed this idea and said that, no, I don't know, remember exactly what he said, but something like, I'm imagining it, or it was just chance that my legs moved when I was listening to this music. The thing is, there is such a thing as the experience of energy. I won't go into what it is exactly, because then we get into a whole kind of scientific, interesting discussion. And in fact, I could explain it, but I won't. The fact is, everybody with a spinal cord injury can feel energy, and everybody without a spinal cord injury can also feel energy. But in the latter case, it's just an extra, a bonus, and it's nice and everything. But when you can't feel anything in your legs, and then gradually you learn that you can actually feel energy in your legs, that makes a world of difference. I'm not a fluke, I'm not a freak. I have taught thousands of people, both able-bodied and disabled, and many people with a spinal cord injury. And many of those learned to indeed feel energy in their legs. And the importance of that is that the body becomes a whole, and that there is no neglect of the lower part of the body, as there was in my case before I did yoga, and in many cases of people, paraplegic people. So what are my experiences with people with all sorts of disabilities? First of all, most of them really loved doing yoga. In most cases, it helped them. And in what way? In a variety of ways. It certainly learning to actually feel your body, to grow in body awareness, has been a tremendous help for them. Of course, especially for paraplegics, learning to feel energy has been a tremendous change in their lives. Spastic people sometimes were able to lower their doses of medication. Being able to breathe properly helped many people gain balance and self-confidence in all kinds of circumstances. The thing is, I can go on ticking off benefits that people have experienced, but it is important to understand that yoga is not a series of exercises that you can do and then you get those benefits. It doesn't work like that. I mean, you do exercises and you do learn to breathe properly, but the effective element is not necessarily any of these exercises or even all of these exercises. What happens is that by growing in body awareness, your relationship with your body changes for the better. Whereas quite a few people who have a disability are not really friends with their body. Sometimes they feel let down or even betrayed by their body after a trauma. When you live with your body and feel at home in your body in spite of its limitations, and let's face it, everybody has limitations. It's a different world. Once you feel at home in your body, you will want to live healthily. You want to give it proper movement. You will want to do your exercises daily. How many people do you know in a wheelchair that exercise daily? And I don't mean pushing weights, which is in itself a good thing to do, in moderation. But how many people do you know that actually take time to teach their body, to get to know their body, to see what more is possible? Probably very few, but when you are friends with your body, when you love your body, you want to do that. And it's not an issue, it's not a problem. So yeah, now probably this all sounds wonderful. So why is it that after decades of people practicing yoga in Western countries, or basically all over the world now, we don't have yoga teachers in rehabilitation centers? I believe it's for this reason. In our Western societies, and apologies to any Eastern viewers of this video, but I'm talking from this cultural background. In our Western societies, to be unhealthy is normal. Unhealth is the norm. Most people are not healthy, and many of those that would say, I'm not unhealthy, I'm rarely sick, are not healthy, because health, as you know, is not the absence of sickness, but it's a sense of vitality. Why is it that it is still normal to be unhealthy? It is because we therapists, doctors, scientists, researchers accept this as, yes, that's just how it is. I believe that's wrong. I believe that is the reason why many people with a spinal cord injury accept problems in their lives, like digestion problems, bladder infections. They accept it as, yeah, okay, that comes with the handicap. But that is because most people are unhealthy. So when we do research into people with, with a lesion, we basically do research on unhealthy versions of people with a lesion. If we would do research into healthy people, healthy paraplegic people, the outcome would be different. I don't have bladder infections. My digestion, as opposed to my friends and colleagues who are in a wheelchair with a spinal cord injury for over 40 years, my digestion is still okay. I don't have a stoma, if that's the English word. I don't have skin problems. Okay. At 3:30 I take a nap those days. I'm getting older. But other than that, I'm healthy. In my idea, this is the issue, that unhealthy is normal. To illustrate that, Some years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was in a rehab center. And I was in the cafe, and at the entrance of the cafe there was some cabinet, and there was all the things that you could buy there were presented. You know, crisps and French fries and cookies and all those things. And I was there, and as it happened, the doctor, my doctor, passed by, and I pointed at these products and I said to her, look, of all these products that we can buy here, only this bottle of water is not unhealthy. All the other products are unhealthy. And her reaction was, yeah, Peter, you know, don't try to change everything all the time. What kind of reaction is that? I'll tell you, it's insane. This is insanity. A rehab center is a hospital. People are supposed to try to get well. How will they get well if being unhealthy, being unwell is normal? They won't. Don't get me started. So, yeah, well, who can change this situation? Well, the answer is simple. You can. How? By embodying that being healthy is normal. If you're a therapist or a doctor or a psychologist, you need to be healthy. Not just healthy, but you need to be convinced that being healthy is normal. And people in a wheelchair can be healthy. There's no reason to be unhealthy when you have a spinal cord injury. Sure, there are problems, there are issues, but that doesn't mean you have to be unhealthy. So when you embody this awareness that being healthy is normal, being able to breathe properly is essential for your health, you will be a role model, and you will, even without exercises, you will help people realize that, yes, it's possible to be healthy and to live in a loving relationship with your body, to be grateful for being alive, with or without limitations, doesn't really matter. I mean, if your body is limited, you're still 100% alive. So, I'm challenging you, I am pleading with you to take this seriously. And why would you do that? Well, because if you don't do it, you are not providing the best service to people with a spinal cord injury. And as a rehab center, you are short-selling your patients. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I am willing to be blunt, and this is just how it is. Probably in other countries as well, but certainly in Holland there are yoga teachers who have specialized in teaching people with a disability or elderly people or elderly people. So my suggestion is find people who have experience working with spinal cord injured people. And of course, if you don't already do yoga yourself, start doing yoga or Tai Chi or Qigong or, you know, one of those kinds of disciplines or sciences, so that you embody this loving relationship and you become a role model. If you would like to learn more from me, hear more about my experiences, I am most happy to be in touch. I'm happy to come to your place to share my knowledge and experience. Thank you for watching this video, and if you're willing to share it, please do. And most of all, of course, I wish you a healthy and happy life.